USARK President Phil Goss recently visited Washington, D.C. to address the Lacey Act and potential Endangered Species Act reforms with federal legislators. Goss emphasized the significance of the entire animal-keeping community's involvement through emails and phone calls to elected leaders. The more constituents leaders hear from, the greater priority their concerns hold. Goss recounted how reptile keepers' calls about the Lacey Act last year had an impression on one legislator's office.
Grassroots advocacy, which is everybody sending emails and making phone calls, is so important. The last legislator's office actually mentioned they remembered hearing from a whole lot of reptile owners last year. So when enough of you make noise, we stop the bad bills.
Discussions are underway regarding reforms to the Endangered Species Act that would prevent the listing of foreign species. Listing these species restricts interstate commerce and discourages captive breeding within the U.S., without protecting the species or their habitats in their native countries. This counterproductive practice hinders genuine conservation efforts, which should promote captive breeding. Encouraging changes to these regressive policies is crucial. However, actual legislation is still in its early stages. The Lacey Act Amendments propose the establishment of a federal whitelist for imports, limitations on interstate transport of injurious species, and grant the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service the authority to unilaterally designate species as injurious.
It would give them an extreme emergency designation. So they could literally list an animal as injurious, a species as injurious. The next day, it would be illegal to move it across state lines. So if they listed ball pythons, for example, the next day, it could be illegal to transport your ball pythons across state lines for any reason. So obviously, that would have a major impact on commerce, but again, even pet owners.
Former FWC biologist Kristen Penny Summers now serves as the Injurious Species Listing Coordinator for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Florida Republican Senator Marco Rubio is advocating for these measures, which aim to overturn USARK's federal court victory in 2017. Goss stressed the importance of Floridians reaching out to Senator Rubio on this issue. Visit don'tblacklistpets.com to send a message opposing the Lacey Act Amendments. Additionally, calling Senator Rubio and ideally visiting his offices in major Florida cities in person would have an impact. See the description below this video for phone numbers and addresses. Since taping this story, we've learned that Representative Anna Paulina Luna, Republican of Florida, has filed accompanying Lacey Act Amendments legislation in the United States House of Representatives. We know from a disclosure on her website that this bill is being supported by Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, FWC. The story you just heard is an excerpt from our recent USARK Florida News program. You can view that in its entirety right here. Please subscribe to our channel, like this video, share it with all of your friends. If you'd like to support USARK Florida, we have an auction coming up this weekend at bsrauctions.com, July 29th and 30th. Hope to see you there. Thank you so much.